Hello and welcome to another day of StarSeries. You are watching day 20 of 30 days. 30 days. Day 20 of 30 days of StarSeries, and we are gonna be seeing 5 games today, and this is game number 1. We're gonna see NEXT.kz taking on 4FC, and of course I'm not by myself. I'm actually joined by 2 extra people here. We have got Nahaz, who will be providing you with stats inside the game client, and of course we have got my co-caster Capitalist. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me, Shiver. I'm very excited to be here. This should be a pretty good day of games. We've got a lot of tier 2 teams playing up against each other, and a lot of teams are in the middle of the pack.
Yeah.
And just trying to make what are the guidelines? I've forgotten.
The guidelines in terms of middle of the pack kind of thing, or well,
for the scores for the group stage.
Okay, the top 4 go to Kiev. Very simple. The bottom 2 get dropped regardless out of StarSeries. There you go to Pro Series. The 2 above that, you have to play regulation matches against the 3 and 4 of the Pro Series. So you fight for your spot basically. And if there's even scores and it's on one of the lines, like either you go to Kiev or not, or you get dropped down or not, it's actually the head-to-head score does count. What am I here? Oh, cat. Sorry, cat standing on the next button, so the music turned on. Hell. But it is a head-to-head counts at the end. But if you're bottom 2, you're out. So far, of course, Ubos is out. They have no chance of getting back on top of that, I think, because unless 4FC starts losing every single game they have. But I still think that, and then Ubos wins every game they have, and they still have to go up against Quantic, for example. It's not going to be easy. So the fight, like the middle that you're talking about, is actually a lot closer than it was last year. So the bottom, like number 15, it's still up for grabs for a lot of different teams. And all these teams need these wins. I mean, NEXT.kz has played 9 games thus far, 4 wins, 5 losses. 4FC, 7 games with 3 wins, 4 losses, so in theory they could still be even. And there's a lot of teams that have got about that score, so we'll see who ends up in the bottom half. But this is an important game regardless for these teams, to get out the upper half of the middle, so to speak.
Well, absolutely. 4FC versus NEXT.kz. These teams have faced off against each other numerous times, and we've actually already got all the bans coming out. Leaving out a couple of heroes, but Weaver's actually going to be the first pick for 4FC, and no surprise there that Weaver has made such a strong entrance into the scene and just has never let go as one of those top carries that is constantly picked up. You know, I used to call for Weaver being picked up when Lifestealer was picked up every single game. And I was like, you know, I think Weaver's a really good pick up against that. Now, Weaver will not leave. Like, every single game now, there's a goddamn Weaver in it. But very, very strong hero, and we're actually going to see it as the hard carry here, it looks like, with the Lone Druid Krilly picks up his hero.
Yeah.
And NEXT.kz secure Chen Rubik, so a little bit more open. Probably going to be seeing safe lanes, but whether or not they're going to go really hard into their push with the Chen or play a little bit passive and go for a harder carry against a Lone Druid Weaver, we'll have to see.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that 4FC will consider putting the Lone Druid on the safe lane and then an aggressive tri lane with the Weaver. Personally, I like Lone Druid better on the safe lane, especially since, I mean, you don't really have that early item that you can build anymore like an armlet used to be. You kind of want to have a Radiance or at least something bigger to be able to compete in the team fights, and the safe lane is then kind of needed to get you that solid farm, and especially since you're already having a Rubik and a Chen, that's not going to be a safe lane for Lone Druid to be trying to get any experience. What?
Sorry.
Oh no.
Turning on my mic in game.
Oh yeah, good. Lifestealer still getting removed from the pool as well as the Storm, so at least a couple of heroes removed that 4FC do not want to face. I don't blame them, especially for the Lifestealer, of course. I mean, if you're gonna run a dual core lineup, you want to make sure that your opponents, if they are gonna run a dual core lineup, it's gonna be more greedy cores than your own. So Lifestealer would be an equivalent of the Weaver in terms of being ready to fight, I feel like. Maybe even a bit earlier than the Weaver. But now if they want to go for dual core, they have to go for some harder carries, for some more late game carries. OD still removed from the pool, well, still in the pool, kinda surprising. But we don't have any mid heroes picked up just yet, so Puck, Queen of Pain, both still in there. And now Baden banned out. Which ones are you expecting mid here?
Well, I'm actually expecting both teams to leave their mids for last. NEXT.kz may actually leave if they choose to go like a hard carry.
Yeah.
They'll leave that for last pick. But here we go. Puck. Wow, Puck is already being picked up. NEXT.kz wanted to be able to take that one because it's a good heavy disabler that is able to jump instantly on the Weaver. The hardest thing about Weaver is you not only going invis, but that max movement speed. So you need to get that instant jump. And there are very, very few heroes that actually have long enough disables to be able to stop Weaver from getting away. If you're paying attention as Weaver most of the time, you're going to be able to hit your Shikuchi before, Rubik runs up to you in telekinesis. So that's where Puck's going to come in, being able to pick up that early Blink Dagger, jump in on the Weaver, get that silence, those nukes off, and follow up with just 1 or 2 extra nukes from allies, and you've got yourself an easy kill. But this kind of locks in your mid. 4FC can kind of play around this. I think that Weaver is such a versatile pickup that it works really, really well in aggressive tri-lanes, like you were talking about. It works well as a hard carry, not the hardest of carries, but it does work pretty well. And combined with the Lone Druid, heavy split push hero who can also join into the team fights about 30-35 minutes and actually be, pretty effective. This lineup is still, even though they picked up 2 of their cores in the very, very beginning, their lineup's still versatile enough whether or not they want to go for heavy push early on and try and end the game by like 35 minutes or play the late game. So, mid's being picked up for 4FC. Honestly, I don't see anything like a Queen. Honestly, I would like to see something, a Tricore lineup here. I would like to see a Dragonite picked up versus a Puck. Grab up that early Shadow Blade. You've got 2 really tanky heroes, Lone Druid and Dragonite, that take a long time to take down, and that frees up Weaver a lot of room to be able to move around during the team fights. As long as he's not being targeted, he's going to output a lot of damage because it takes so long to take down both of those big tanky heroes, and you've got some really good push on your side. But that being said, they might not have enough early game to feel comfortable with that, and they're going to go ahead and grab the Shadow Demon at first. Maybe look for, it's been a while since we've seen this, but maybe look for, a Lina or a Leshrac. That combo, that has been a really long time since we've seen that.
Yeah, and 4FC actually one of the few teams that continue doing that after the metagame shifted a bit, but they had, of course, at some point they had Matrim, who played a lot of Lina, and he was, he was playing that a lot in combination with the Shadow Demon for 4FC. Of course, they changed their lineup slightly, so perhaps something else instead of the Lina, but I would like to see that. I would like to see a Jakiro maybe as well, just to have some extra roaming potential, extra shutdown potential for 4FC. I have to say though, like in terms of team fight, NEXT.kz is starting to look more and more dangerous, especially with the Darkseer getting picked up there. We've got the Chen, of course, already with the Hand of God, just allowing your team to fight longer. Puck, AoE, Silence, Dreamcoil, Vacuum, it's looking pretty scary on the side of NEXT.kz, while 4FC, they are so far looking for a pretty safe game for themselves, and I'm wondering if they're not looking for too safe. They have to have a lot of pressure on that mid now, as you already pointed out. They need to buy some time for the Lone Druid and the Weaver to farm up, and that pressure is going to be either on the mid or on the supports, and there is still indeed the Lina. And I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. Shadow Demon Lina, they have to make something happen here. They have to roam. And it's not easy to gank a Puck. And especially not the Shadow Demon. I mean, you put the Puck under. And he can, if he has a Blink Dagger, just blink himself away. Can't do anything against that. And of course, if it's earlier, he can still phase shift straight afterwards to dodge the stun from the Lina. It's tricky to get a Puck down if you have a Shadow Demon Lina combination.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. If they do get the stuns off, though, Lina will be able to cleave through a lot of these heroes. They're all very, very squishy. The one exception being Darkseer, who's probably going to pick up well, I don't know, actually, you've got Chen, who's going to be picking up the mech. So Darkseer may actually think about picking up a pipe if we have a magic dealer as the mid being picked up. Otherwise, I just don't think there's enough to really validate it. But you have a lot of squishy heroes on your team, and that's really easy for Weaver to pick off. You've got a heavy damage dealer like Lina to be able to cleave through heroes pretty quickly. So that's a source of a little bit worrisome for NEXT.kz. And the question is, what hard carry they're really going to go for here? They have some early game, push coming out from the Chen, but they don't really have enough to really validate an all-in early game push strat. Their lineup is looking a little bit more like a 4 protect 1.
Yeah.
Especially with the puck pickup, which is more control heavy rather than an early damage dealer like Queen of Pain. So, you know, I'm looking at something, you know, maybe something like the Faceless Void that would be able to stand up against the Weaver. You can jump in on her with that ultimate, lock her down, and bash her to death before it gets off the ultimate. And also later can stand up against the Bear by just being able to man fight and bash it down.
Yeah, I like the ban from NEXT.kz here. Marana is a pick that 4FC used to pick up a lot in combination with the Shadow Demon Lina. Ran that as an aggressive tri lane. Of course, it would be kind of greedy if they still went for that in this occasion. Having a Weaver or Lone Druid mid, though, is not something that we haven't seen before, so it would have still been a possibility, but removing it from the pool, I'm still hoping for a bit of an aggressive tri lane. One can only hope. And yeah, for a head, or a NEXT.kz, however you want to call them, I'm not sure if they can have the luxury to have a Faceless Void, because he'll still be up against two. The Alchemist was the one that I was going to go for. I swear, I was. So, the one thing that they have as trouble now is they have this window of opportunity where Alchemist will be bigger than Lone Druid and Weaver if they are indeed successful in 4 Protect 1. But if the game lasts too long, 4FC should be able to take down NEXT.kz with a sheer amount of, well, more cores for them compared to NEXT.kz. However, if 4FC runs an aggressive tri-lane up against an Alchemist, I mean, he is the only one that you really have to worry about for late game for 4FC. So aggressive tri-lane, I wouldn't be surprised to see them do it.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, you know, I mean, going into the mid game, Alchemist is pretty good versus Lone Druid. I just don't feel that he's very strong versus Weaver at all. He has a stun. Weaver's going to be able to pick up that Linken's and won't have to worry about that. Kiting around the Alchemist is really easy. You don't have a, you know, ton of movement speed, and you have no real mobility abilities that are going to get you on top of that Weaver very quickly. So for the most part, this is going to be Weaver's game to just play around and have some fun, and as long as he's playing careful, and as long as he's keeping an eye on that puck, especially if he can pick up an early Linken's, he's going to be fine. He's going to tear this game up, I feel. 4FC, go ahead and pick up the Nyx Assassin. I really like this pickup just because of the fact that it gives you some good early game pressure, which is something you really need. You were talking about, you know, the ganking by Shadow Demon and Lina and them trying to move around the map and put some pressure on the four and the Protect 1 that are vulnerable to these nukes. Well, now you've got a hero that's able to actually jump on them very, very early with the Nyx Assassin. The trouble with Nyx Assassin mid being picked up is the fact that it's always very, very easy to be able to identify when an Nyx Assassin is ganking.
Yeah.
Like he leaves middle, 20 seconds of duration on that vendetta. So if you pop it at the wrong time and the communication is going on in the enemy team, they're like, hey, just play passive for 30 seconds, you know, your whole entire rotation is completely screwed. So Blink Dagger, again, is actually really, really important on this hero. Getting him to level 11 is hugely important. Completely changes up how you react to a vendetta, just because it lasts so long that it allows Nyx Assassin to pop it earlier, so you don't have to worry about bypassing wards. You go deeper into their jungler, you really search out for those supports without just... Because the level 1 Vendetta, you teleport to a lane and you pop it in lane and you already know what hero you're going for. Level 2, you actually have the freedom to move around the map and see what you can find. So look for that.
30 seconds.
The moment he hits level 11, that's really when the game's going to get kind of difficult for NEXT.kz, and that's where a lot of threats going to be at. Puck, meanwhile, is searching for Blink Dagger, and you've got your typical mech pickup from Chen, maybe a pipe from Darkseer this game, we'll have to see. But other than that, it's just a basic 4 Protect 1 against aggressive strategy from 4FC that has a dual core, meaning they can go late versus NEXT.kz. Especially if they have a gold advantage, but that's not to be expected versus an Alchemist. They're probably going to try and push in, probably about 30 minutes in, when Alchemist is actually really, really big, has that maxed out Grievous Greed. We're actually going to change up the lanes here. Nyx Assassin, they didn't want to run Puck up against Nyx Assassin, and so now they're actually going to put Alchemist mid.
I think I like it. I mean, he'll have a good time, for sure. He won't really die up against the Nyx Assassin. Puck will be on the safe lane. That's interesting, and it will free up the supports for NEXT.kz. They want to be allowed to roam a lot more, even though they're going to have a tough time because the wards are there and the Chen won't be able to get any more creeps anytime soon. He did get himself a satire, of course, but he is also going to get ganked, I think, because Boomski already making his way over. Let's see who's playing what. Of course, we have 4FC. They are on the dire side, and they are invading the Radiant jungle at the moment as they're dodging. Failed dodge. Satire did see them, I think. But we've got Boomski playing the Shadow Demon. Juicy will play the Lina. He's standing in for 4FC. I've done so multiple times. Blumberg will take on the mid lane, up on his Nyx Assassin. The bottom lane, we've got a Weaver, played by Strangby. And then top lane is the last one. It's Krilly. It's the one with the Golden Compass, Spirit Bear. And the one that's taken on the Darkseer, which should be doable for him. Should be fine.
And over on the NEXT.kz side, we got Stallcat, who's going to be on that Darkseer facing up against Lone Druid. Manta is going to be mid on the Alchemist. Their stand-in, Russian guy, is going to be on that Chen. Reeves is on the Rubik. And bottom, Wadafaka is going to be on that Puck versus the Tri-Lane, who has to play a little bit careful here. I'm not really sure if I like the Alchemist mid because
no, they're going to try to go for
farm in mid usually.
So they're going to be a Light Strike array, and he knows he can dodge that Light Strike array. You saw how hesitant Juicy was, wanting to wait for the phase shift to be done, but he knows he can get away from that every single time. Although right now he's completely out of mana, so he doesn't have an orb, but we'll see if they can find him again. He did pick up boots early, so he is going to be a bit more safe there. A lot of pressure here on Boomski and Juicy, I think. Perhaps they can find themselves some supports, as Mantis will still get the Illusion Rune. Boomski not able to deny that one. Boomski actually taking a lot of harassment from the bird from Chen. Where are you expecting first blood to happen? Is it still going to be on the bottom lane? Is it still going to be the Puck?
If they play it right, it's actually pretty easy to get first blood on Puck. They need Shadow Demon to be able to surprise Puck with a disruption and then fake out the Lina stun, which will force Puck to phase shift the moment he comes out of that disruption, and then from there you just have to be able to land your Light Strike away on a hero that has boots. Yeah. But that's going to be the key for them to be able to pick up that kill. From there, it's just really easier for Weaver to chase a Puck, especially given the fact that you're going to be pretty low anyway. Wadafaka has already taken a lot of harassment from this Weaver. If they bring the lane back, Puck really has no way to come forward in this lane without having to blow a lot of mana every single time there's a hint of danger. Every single time they come forward, he has to blow an orb very, very defensively. That's a lot of mana to commit every single time you go forward. So as long as they keep the lane back and keep it static near their tower, this should be a really, really easy lane for them to eventually kill the Puck, but in the beginning just kind of harass him out and make sure he doesn't pick up a whole lot of CS or experience.
In the meantime, Mantis is having a very good time here on mid. He didn't pick up any level in Grievel's Greed, but because of his Acid Spray, he's able to just force that Nyx Assassin away. Nyx Assassin sitting on 10-5 in terms of last hits, but 18-5 for Mantis. And that's quite good for him. He is unlucky with the rune. It is bottom, it got denied by the bird. Didn't end up seeing what it was, but well, he's doing good for himself. Of course, there will soon be a level 6 up for the Nyx Assassin. We might see him rotate, we might see him leave mid. I mean, it's not like he can stop Mantis from really farming here anyway. But as you said, it's going to be very obvious for when he is actually trying to farm, as we might have Darkseer in some trouble. No, Darkseer going to be okay, but it is a Lone Druid that's now level 6, so he's got himself Entangle on a bear. And that means that Entangles could mean the Stallcat might actually be surprised and get killed, but he does have that regen. So as one of the Tangos, just use his salve. For now he's going to be okay, but he is going to be having a tougher lane than he had for the first 5 levels of the Lone Druid.
Yeah, middle, meanwhile, Alchemist is doing a decent job at middle. He's got 23 and 6 right now, so top CS on the board. But he's also going a more aggressive build because he is mid, and that's not really surprising. But he's maxing out his Acid Spray and his Unstable Concoction. No levels in Grievel's Greed, and that's where I feel the overall strategy is going to fail. Is the fact that I thought we really need to see Alchemist pick up that Grievel's Greed because you need to have a big gold advantage over this dual core strategy in order to just be big enough to crack open the base. Here I don't see them being able to have that. I don't see them being able to crack open the base, and therefore Lone Druid's just going to get huge. Weaver's going to finally get damage after a while, and the whole entire thing's going to turn against them. But we'll see. We'll see. Top, StarCat's taking a bit of harassment from Krilly. Not only is this Lone Druid, it just has a natural advantage in this lane, but also it's Krilly. He's one of the best Lone Druids in the European scene, and it's going to be a tough ass to go up against that. Looks like the two supports have actually rotated to top now, which is actually pretty smart. They're going to get their levels here. They're going to be able to put some more pressure on the lanes by, basically just the pure act of moving around the map. Forces you to go, okay, the support's ganking now. Are they ganking me in mid? What's going on? And this is going to allow them, because Weaver is going to be able to do just fine versus Puck. Now that he's level 5, he's got a lot of damage coming out from that Shukuchi. He's got the basic items he needs to be able to win in the lane, which is treads. So as long as he plays, doesn't overly dive, watches out for the Rubik gank, he's going to be just fine farming up in this lane.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm quite surprised that 4FC is not trying to... they smoked up the supports when going top, and they hang around in mid for a bit, and they hang around maybe trying to backstab StarCat for a bit, but they haven't really done anything like that. They just pulled one camp, then now they're level 3, Rejoice, but they are wasting a lot of time with these movements and not really doing anything with it. Either, I would say, continue stacking, continue pulling, continue getting levels, or try to get more kills, but they're kind of indecisive. They're still sitting at level 3. While we look at the supports of NEXT.kz, I have to say, I was not expecting Rubik to still sit at level 3. We do have Chen level 4 though, but they're leveling together. I guess that's part of why they're being fairly slow for themselves. And actually, I think Rubik might be getting level 4 out of that camp that's happening right now. But yeah, I was expecting a first blood already. If you have a Shadow Demon Lina combination, you kind of want to make it work. You kind of want to try and get a gank going, and they're actually leaving Lina now to go on mid by herself. So this is the most obvious gank ever, as a Nyx Assassin roaming top. He's got his Vendetta. The question is, where is he gonna roam? I don't think StarCat got the memo from that there's actually a Nyx Assassin missing. Oh, there we go. He gets a memo. He surged himself out.
Just at the right time.
Yep.
And there it is. Blomberg's rotation is completely screwed.
Yep.
He's not going to be able to do anything else with that Vendetta. Maybe he can teleport bottom and catch him out by surprise, but that's really not likely. He would have to rotate around behind the Puck in order to get her. I'm actually a little bit surprised he went top at all with his gank. I really expected him to teleport bottom, because that's one of the best ways to gank with Nyx Assassin, because your ganks are so obvious. The immediate teleport and Vendetta into the lane and gank that way is actually really effective, because most people are expecting you to walk across the map. Vision usually goes dark about the time that you're going to start moving, that 6 to 7 minute mark. A lot of times you'll see teams just don't have their wards up because of poor performance in lanes or what have you. So there's a lot of dark time, you don't know where the next assassin is, and you expect him to walk to the lane that he's going to be ganking with Vendetta. And so being able to have that immediate effect of a teleport sometimes is really, really effective in getting that surprise.
Yeah, we actually don't have any wards up for NEXT.kz at the moment, so you're right about that one. Blomberg is still sitting top. He's got a new Vendetta up. Let's see if StarCat will this time not run away. Here comes a Vendetta. StarCat. He'll get surprised here by a Vendetta and an Impale. The question is, will they actually be able to get him killed? If they get some entangles, perhaps they will. And now now you're too late. Well, too late with the Vendetta hit anyway. Here comes the Impale, but that's not going to be enough to take him down. Unless there's going to be some entangles. Where's that bear? There's the bear, but Krilly, he might be first bloody with an Iron Shell. StarCat has got another surge. He'll get himself a first blood on a bear. In the meantime, Weaver goes down on the bottom lane. Dreamcoil trying to help out. Shadow Demon going to be stunned up by the Centaur, taken down as well. 3 kills across the board so far for NEXT.kz. 4FC getting wiped out on 2 different lanes, and that's very bad news for them.
Yeah, not only that, but Weaver attempted to use the buyback time lapse in order to pick up a kill.
Oh yeah.
And that didn't even work out for him. So buyback down the drain. 2 deaths down the drain in that bottom lane, and StarCat winning his lane that he's not supposed to win against a 2v1. Things kind of falling apart there for 4FC. We're gonna see that early mech up soon on Darkseer. Actually, he's the one committing to it. So Chen apparently just gonna go mana boots and
freed up for
really
maybe
sure
an Aghanims if he's lucky. Depends on how rich he is. I mean, He gets himself some extra gold with that, or at least not forced to buy anything that he doesn't want to right now. We do have a double damage rune up on Lina. She's level 5. We still have a level 3 Shadow Demon though, but Lina at level 5 might be able to accomplish something. I mean, they need to accomplish something, it's that simple. Lone Druid shut down, even though he has a Hand of Midas, and he will be able to still, you know, get himself back on track. The game of 4FC is just delayed at the moment, and that will give Alchemist more time to get himself ahead, of course, because Alchemist, still a pretty dangerous hero. He is highest on... He is actually not highest on net worth. What am I talking about? It's the Puck that's highest for his team. Alchemist not doing... Like, I agree with you. That Grievel's Greed missing out, I'm not too sure about that. I mean, it's not like he's getting ganked.
It's worked out in the laning phase, I suppose, because Alchemist is getting decent farm where that tri-lane really would have shut him down without heavy support, without the Chen constantly sort of being there. So it freed up the supports with the Puck being pretty much solo bottom. It freed them up to farm and dedicated them to farming, which is a little unusual. If they can pay it out now with Chen and Rubik being high levels and getting kills.
Strike me already like taken down. In comes the Nyx Assassin, but there is a sentry ward there, so they know that he is there. They can lift him. No, they can't. Impale misses Vendetta, misses Blumberg. Wasted his ultimate once more. Wow. Just wow.
Another rotation. Not going the way of Blumberg.
I mean,
level 8 still hasn't been in the kill yet.
He is now having less farm than the Chen. You can consider him officially being more like a support Nyx Assassin than a solo mid Nyx Assassin, because he's only got 28 last hits and we're 12 minutes into the game. He doesn't have anything apart from boots and a magic wand. I mean, he hasn't died yet, which is, you know, good for him, but he hasn't been able to make anything happen. He's actually been only killing off his teammates, basically. Well, one of them anyway. Lone Druid, of course.
Nice tornado, forcing them back a little bit. They're going to try and take this tower and get in that little bit of gold necessary, because they do need to start snowballing very early on. They're already doing a great job in the laning phase. The fact that they haven't given up a single kill against the Lina Shadow Demon combo, and they've actually picked up 4 already. Really promising for the early game, so maybe their decision is really going to pay out for them. That was the big question, is whether or not they were actually going to be able to still secure a lead without Grievel's Greed, and they have so far, and it looks like they're going to continue to do so. Weaver is going to be taking a while until you're actually getting offensive, especially going in the aggressive tri-lane. You're getting, you know, decent CS, but the fact that already having died twice really hurts the net worth of this hero.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long time until he picks up Lincolns, and then even longer before we see any real damage. And the same problem comes out from Lone Druid. Lone Druid isn't a team fight hero very early on. You can get some earlier items, like Maelstrom is sometimes an item that you'll see picked up by Lone Druids who want to have an immediate impact on team fights. But still, it's just not a hero that has a heavy impact in team fights. So this tri-lane not going the way of 4FC really going to hurt them.
And I can't help but thinking that picking up a Shadow Demon Lina combination, it didn't work out. Juicy is now level 6, but Boomski is still level 3. We're 14 minutes in, and I mean, Disruption is the most important thing that he has, and it's gonna be just as good almost in terms of setting up for a Lina stun than as when he was higher level, but now we're actually going to have NEXT.kz being the one to rotate, and that's going to be trouble for 4FC. Blumberg is going to be the target, already stunned up, killed off. Juicy still TP's in. He's going to regret that though, because he'll be taken down. Double kill for the Chen, double kill for the stand-in of NEXT.kz, and down goes the second tower of the game on the side of 4FC. And Mantis gets himself an extra bag of gold. He has a Shadow Blade.
And NEXT.kz going for that super pro strategy. They're like, oh, we got a whole bunch of gold, let's just throw it away on buying double mech. As Chen's actually picking one up too. So good communication. Oh. Hey, at least they got the communication where it counts. They're winning the game hard enough that this double mech won't actually hurt them in any way.
Well.
So, and in some ways it may help them. They may not be together in team fights.
Oh, Lone Druid, next target on the list. Skrilly in some trouble. Dark Zero has been dropped, vacuumed into, not a wall, but into death anyways. This is NEXT.kz. They have their moment. It's come a lot earlier than I think both of us thought. Because, I mean, we have a Shadow Blade up on the Alchemist. At the moment, that's all they need. Because what can 4FC do right now? They cannot fight back. They've proven that. They don't have team fight, we knew that, but they also don't have the, I don't know, the killing potential that they would need to stop this from happening. Mattis will still end up stunning himself. I think that's a bit of luck for Juicy right there, but tier 2 tower will fall. 7-0. 8k gold in favor of NEXT.kz. 7k experience in their favor, and it's looking bad.
Yeah, the whole entire idea for 4FC was the fact that their 2 supports were that had so much kill potential, and mixed in with the Nyx assassin, that just those 3 heroes were going to be able to output an even amount of pressure that NEXT.kz would. Like, if Alchemist went for an early build, it wouldn't really matter because Nyx assassin is better at that early aggression. He's better with the Vendetta, outputs more damage with all of his abilities combined. But that having them lose the laning phase so hard, NEXT.kz is taking advantage of this, and they're just grouping up, and the 3 aren't able to output nearly enough now. Now that they're going up against mechs, and now it has
double
to have
mech.
Lone Druid and Weaver come in. Yeah, double mech.
Yeah, mechs.
How do you stop double mech?
Yeah, you can't. It's just impossible. We'd like to see a stat about that. Win rate of teams with double mechs build. We might still have 4FC trying something that would come from 3 different sides, coming from the front and from the both sides, but they'll see their tower drop first, so now all of a sudden Lone Druid has to get himself out. Oh, Mantis finds Krilly, stuns him up. There's a silence. That's a dream call. That's gonna be one dead bear. 8-0. 4FC. Their early game, the aggressive trial, it just didn't work out. The Nyx Assassin's on limit. But do you think that with a different pick, apart from a Nyx Assassin, it would have maybe worked out? Or is it the rotation of the Shadow Demon and the Lina that just failed? Or what do you think they could have done differently?
Well, I mean, it is a combination of both, but Nyx Assassin is a really high risk. I can't even say a high reward for a Nyx Assassin mid. He's just a pretty risky mid that doesn't pay out a lot of times because his ganks are so obvious, and going into team fights he doesn't like he obviously is able to provide an impale and mana burn. It's all very strong, but it's not overwhelming like a Puck or a Queen of Pain. You don't do a huge amount of damage, so I do think that a different mid, I'm not even sure, like my suggestion of Dragon Knight, I don't even know if that would work. I think you need something like a Queen of Pain, some really heavy hitter. Even though it's going up against a Puck, it's still a good matchup, and it's still, you go into the game being able to pop a lot of these supports, especially the Chen in the back, who is supposed to be the one with the only mech. Being able to jump on him, pop him before he can get off his mech and his ultimate,
Yeah.
completely defines the team fight there on out. But here, 4FC, they just don't have a way to be able to stand up against team fights with both the Weaver and the Lone Druid. And that combo is what it really comes back to. Is picking up both the Weaver and the Lone Druid is a risky play. It leaves you very susceptible to early pushes when neither Weaver nor Lone Druid wants to fight. And so you're depending heavily on your 3 other heroes to stand up against 5 if they group up. And they just, their execution wasn't good enough. And I don't think their heroes were good enough.
And I mean, this is the last outer tower. I think we can predict what's gonna happen next. Roshan, they have got the medallion up on Reeves. Roshan and try to go high ground. They've got a Dagon up on motherfucker. He has got the blink there already, but Dagon, Gem. I mean, even if 4FC was still gonna execute everything properly right now, they can't even get in anymore without being spotted. And you need that perfect initiation from Blomberg to indeed pick someone off, or at least shut someone down at the start of a fight, and they can't do that anymore. They don't really have any items yet up on those Spirit Bear. He actually went for a Basher rather than going perhaps for a Radiance, which he might have wanted to have. Reeves getting impaled. Dragon Slave will end up going down. It's the first kill for 4FC, but in comes a Dream Coil up on 3. Darkseer Wall there as well. Blomberg will end up getting dropped, as well as Juicy. Grilly tries to run for his life right now, but can he actually make it? What a fucker chasing him down. Can't blink, won't blink. As on the backside, Weaver tries to take a different route out of there. They got a kill, yay! But they lost 2 for it.
They're on the board.
Yep.
It's only 10-1, with Roshan being given away, all tier 2 towers being dead, and soon the base being threatened.
Yeah, perhaps
So,
they could take a tower? No. Okay. Ooh, Puck finds himself a Shadow Demon. Well, it's a very easy pickup. He didn't even use his Dagon for that. Imagine that. Trying me.
Yeah, and the fact that
chasing
he
down.
isn't dagging at all is
Yeah.
kind of insane, but it's gonna shut down the Weaver pretty hard. Now Puck is able to solo up one of their cores.
Yep.
I like that early gem pickup by isn't what a fuck up, but the Chen actually picked it up.
Yeah.
Gave it to the Puck. That is actually really important for map control. Since they are grouped up as 5, they easily take map control since there's no chance of really losing the gem without a big team fight, and they're willing to take that risk. And also, you know, just really good chase for the Nyx Assassin and for the Weaver when they do catch him out. So really smart play.
I'm actually thinking, like, if NEXT.kz is gonna give 4FC more time, perhaps they still have a chance.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. If they give them, you know, 10 minutes worth of time to be able to farm up, easily. Weaver's gonna go for BKB. Lone Druid,
Basher.
still no real items. Is that Basher?
Yeah,
I guess so.
Probably wants to have a Basher. I mean, I'm gonna assume he wanted to have, of course, a Radiance, but yeah, you can't really get that if you're getting ganked constantly. I mean, he does have the Hand of Midas, he can get his Basher. He needs the attack speed though, and that's gonna be a troublesome thing for him. So, Basher and Hyperstone, I think when they get that, they might have a chance. But just the Hyperstone left now. I guess you have some more chances to
Triple
disable
tornado.
people. Ugh, how annoying can you be, right?
Well, at least nobody's there for 4FC. They're all pushing in bottom, which is the right thing to do here. They're split pushing, and they know that NEXT.kz don't have an extraordinary amount of push. All they have is the Chen, those 3 together. The other heroes have no real, like, Puck doesn't do any real auto-attacking damage to towers. Alchemist doesn't have a minus aura yet coming out from the AC. That's still going to be a long time. So even if they do go uphill, they'll easily be able to teleport in and save the tower from any big damage.
Yeah, talking about teleporting in, that's exactly what NEXT.kz did on the bottom lane, where 4FC is now getting chased away out of the Radiant jungle. Motherfucker looking to find someone, but can't find anybody anymore. Reeves might find someone though, finds a bear. Well, that's something. The rest still trying to run for it, and I think they're going to be successful at that as well. So they delayed a push by forcing everybody of NEXT.kz back. They actually did some damage towards the tier 2 as well. I mean, they got some gold in the tier 1, which is great. Lone Druid, of course, getting that one. If they can keep up, just making sure that NEXT.kz is forced to move around the map, yeah, why not? Why not? They still have a chance. I mean, we've seen more differences than 10 kill differences making a comeback, although it is 15k gold in favor of NEXT.kz and 10k experience. That's a lot right there. But it's kind of stagnated ever since, of course, the Outer Towers and the Roshan were dead. Since then, NEXT.kz have not been able to farm as much anymore. Oh, Impale, Soundcat might be in some trouble, but in comes the Hand of God. Wow, that Laguna Blade doesn't do anything. What a fucker, blinks in, Dream Coil up on 4. Down goes 2, already double kill for Puck. Was it up on 5? I think it was. Strangby time-lapsed himself into safety. Krilly runs himself into safety towards his phone. Manta's able to find Strangby though, gets himself a stun and a kill. In comes Puck, not done just yet, wants to get a triple kill, finds it in the hands of the Lina. The bear will end up going down as in the actual bear. Oh no, 12 HP, he's fine, I was never worried. But that is NEXT.kz on the high ground. That's gonna be probably a Rax down. Although, luckily for 4FC, they're not that high level just yet, so they'll be back up on their feet very shortly.
Advantage of getting destroyed early.
Yep.
Low death timers.
Yep. Well, it might work out. The bear will get picked off though, so the Basher is going to be out of play. There is no resummon anymore upon Krilly, and the GG well played goes out. That's going to be it. 24 minutes of game time here between NEXT.kz and 4FC, but NEXT.kz, utter domination. But I'm not sure if it's NEXT.kz playing really well or 4FC just kind of missing what they were supposed to be doing. Oh, oh, the chat made me realize what Katrina meant. The tornadoes. It's a hurricane.
Oh my goodness.
The chat called out Katrina. I'm thinking, oh, he's calling out towards, you know, a lady friend or something like that. But no. Tornadoes. That's actually pretty cool. Oh well. Any final words on this fairly one-sided match?
No, it just comes down to, I mean, their draft had issues with it, but better execution with the Nyx Assassin and the Shadow Demon Lina combo, and they could have possibly spared themselves a lot more time to be able to farm up.
Yeah.
So, just combination of problems.
unfortunately the case. Hopefully our next game will be a bit more even. It will be NEXT.kz versus Menace, so stick around. We'll have a game in about 15 minutes from now. That's the official starting time for the game. Might start a bit earlier, but I'm actually not expecting that to happen. So, 15 minutes break. We'll be right back with another game of StarSeries. Of course, this is day 20 of 30 days of StarSeries group stages, and this was game 1 of 5. So stick around for the second game of the day.